Alright, so I am in a place called Harrington Manor State Park. It's just a small little lake here, and I came out here today with my Mamiya Press Camera, the Polaroid back. You can see it right behind me here. And I haven't really had a lot of chances to shoot this camera this week, really just because it's so big. And that's obviously going to be the big downfall for landscape stuff. If something's hard to carry, and chances of you using it is not incredibly high. And so but we drove in here, and it's, you know, kind of have a place where the family's hanging out, and so I can leave most of my equipment there. And so I just grabbed the Mamiya and my light meter and an extra pack of Polaroid film. And so right now I'm going to look and see what I can get from these Polaroids. I just took one on the way over here. It's not fully developed yet, but it's just kind of a view of the lake. Got my pocket here, and it's starting to come in. Nothing special. Still kind of getting a feel for the focal length of this 150 lens, and so yeah, it's definitely shooting with this camera is a little tricky because Polaroid film is limited in what it can do. And it doesn't have a huge dynamic range, and so I'm kind of learning that, and whether it likes to be over or underexposed, or has to be spot on every time basically. And so combine that with a new light meter, and it definitely makes things interesting. There's a lot of variables at play, and so I'm kind of getting about half and half with my images so far, but the goal right now is to just try to get some and really start getting a better hit rate with usable images. Alright, so this is of the lilies here, and it's, what time is it? It's almost 4 o'clock, and so we don't have direct overhead sun, but it's still pretty strong sun here. But yeah, there's definitely be some nice compositions here, and hopefully I can find them and make them. This is really this beautiful forest here. Very well taken care of. This is state forest, and I saw signs that you can ride dirt bikes and ATVs. Maybe not in this part here, but on the part further back. And so, boy, that would be nice. Come up here and do a little bit of riding. I currently don't have a bike here in the States, but man, if I had my KTM 450 up here, I'd be tearing this up. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shoot this trail here, just in this pretty densely wooded area. We'll see how this comes out. Alrighty. I don't know how good that's going to come out, but worth trying. You don't learn until you do it, so... really like these trees here. I just shot a little path through the forest, and I probably should have waited to hit this one. So I'm going to wait and see what my exposure looks like on the last one, and then I'm going to take a shot here in this place. It's been about a week since I shot the images that you guys just saw, and I've had a little bit of time to reflect on them and figure out what I like, what I don't like, and what I could improve on. And so the first thing that I really need to get better at is just metering in general. Several of the images, specifically the forest images, did not come out, and that's just due to improper metering. And I'm not going to really go into the details of that, but they were metered incorrectly, and that's why they came out black. Now, this film is not incredibly forgiving like negative films, and so I think I need to treat it more like slide film, in that you only get a couple stops of light, maybe 5, and while the colors look great, it doesn't hold on to the shadows and those highlights nearly as well as a negative film would. So, need to be careful with my metering, take the extra time, and just figure it out before I take the image. So, that'll be the first thing that I want to improve. Now, the second thing is also a basic thing about photography, which is just going to be composition. So, this is something that is kind of unique to this camera. Now, with most cameras, you look through the viewfinder, the LCD, or whatever you're using, and you see what's going to be in the picture. Well, that's not really the case with this camera. So this has an optical viewfinder, but it's designed for a 100mm lens. Now, I have a 150 on there. I have a 100, but it got damaged and it's not working right now. So I'm using the 150. And the problem is that you have these little markings inside the viewfinder which tell you where the 150 should be lined up for the proper exposure. And that's great. But now factor in that I'm not using the standard film back, but instead I am using a Polaroid back that is custom made, and it shoots a 3x3 Polaroid basically, which is not the shape that was it's not any shape that was designed for that camera. So I think what I need to do is put the camera on a tripod and just shoot something that'll be easy to kind of track where the movements should be, and from there figure out where I need to line things up. So that's something that I'll be doing because I really want to kind of get to the bottom of this and stop guessing of what's going to be in my exposure. some of these images I liked, except for the fact that they just weren't lined up right. Maybe something that was a critical part of the composition was in the wrong place in the photo and therefore killing the composition. So that's another thing that you just need to be careful with, but that's going to take a little more work on my end to figure it out. And the last thing is that I really enjoyed the colors of this film. Now, this film is not fast in how quickly it develops, but I think it really does give nice colors, and so for that reason alone, I think it's something that deserves more time. Just checking it out and seeing what I can get with it. So the colors are brilliant. I think they, in many ways, they remind me of slide film, that they'll take a scene that's kind of dull maybe and really just spruce it up, give it real nice bold colors, real nice saturation, but it has a nice natural look to it. So that's something that I really enjoyed about this film. Now, moving forward, I think the verdict is still out on this camera and, well, this combination of camera and Polaroid back and film. And I like what I'm getting overall, but I need to improve. I do not have one image that I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And I think I can get that, but I'm not there yet. And so I'm going to give this some more time. I'm going to keep shooting and just try to figure out what I need to do to really get the images the way they should be. And so yeah, I'm excited to keep using this, and hopefully I'll have some really nice images to show you guys at some point. That is all for this video. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, found some sort of value from it, and I'll see you guys next time.